have some spikes on it and hit them in the back of the head. And that's the only way it could kill it. They said, what is it? They say this thing jumps from body to body and it takes over the most ancient part of the brain, the medulla oblongata, where the most concentrated part of the melanin was. You see? And it's in that movie Minion. You see? But in the Bible it tells you that the ones that's supposed to be raised up are those that were slain at the foundation of the earth. Well, the Titans were slain at the foundation of the earth. The Nephilim were slain at the foundation of the earth. And the word Nepher or Netter is one and the same, was slain at the foundation of the earth. You see? And the Elohim. So in actuality, those that were slain at the foundation of the earth, I thought Lucifer was cast down at the foundation of the earth. You see? So this concept here, those with the slain at the foundation of the earth and the ones to be risen up, well, to rise, to resurrect, you must fall. Now, it's interesting because I make the argument that the Christ does not come from heaven. The Christ comes from hell. Hello. Now, in his book, because as you know that the Christ is the Greek, the Christ is Christos, but in Kemet is Kres, but it's also Heru. But Heru in Greek is hero. And he makes a clear statement that the hero always comes up from the underworld. To resurrect, you must be a fallen entity. We'll get deep into the esoteric thing of how this is actually done. Well, how does the Christ come from hell? In order for the Christ to evolve into the Christ, it has to ferment. Just like you take that water into wine, or throw the water in the wine and all this shit. It has to crystallize. Christos. You see? We'll get into that also. Now, the ancient evil that I'm talking about here is different than moral evil. It's an actual force. Actual force, and I'll deal with it in a few minutes. It's also the dark side is the melanin realm. The psychological stage is the mental, the most deepest part of the subconscious mind. The physical realm and the good realm and obedience suppresses these vital forces. Now, what do I mean by this? Does this mean I'm telling you to go out and commit heinous acts? To commit a physical act is to be a part of the illusionary phase. What we're talking about here is a form of changing your thinking. You see what I'm saying? Your thinking has to be changed. If the subconscious mind acts upon what is given to it in the conscious mind. You understand? What is given to it in the conscious mind. Then when you give it wrong information, the subconscious mind still acts to that wrong information the same way it would right information. So in order to override all the wrong information, you have to override the whole system, and it is therapeutic that you become demonic in your thought pattern. So how does one become demonic in their thought pattern? Number one way to help you along is to understand, well, if this is an illusion and this is a dream, then nothing really matters based on how you behave. But we're talking about a thought condition. And that's just what it is. There's a good book. You want to learn about the Matrix? Well, I'll put one on your ass. Oh, yeah, you want to learn about some goddamn Matrix? They got a white woman from the University of Chicago. All she does is translate damn text, and her specialty is the Vedic text and all of that stuff, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, and the Rig Veda, the Upanishads, and she is the foremost authority on this thing. If you want to learn about some Matrix, and I'll give you somebody to scholar your ass, you probably take a year to have to study this book. It's called Dreams, Illusions, and Other Realities. Dreams, Illusions, and Other Realities by Wendy O'Flaherty. Dreams, Illusions, and Other Realities by Wendy O'Flaherty. Her name is actually Wendy Duniger O'Flaherty, but when they type it up, Wendy O'Flaherty. The name is O''Flaherty. O'Flaherty. O''Flaherty. Wendy O'Flaherty, University of Chicago Press. And this book is called Dreams, Illusions, and Other Realities. And there's one in there in a text where they talk about this sage that went to sleep. And he dreamed it was a woman. Then the woman dreamed that she was a doe or a deer, and the deer dreamed that it was a flea, and the flea dreamed that it was a weed, and the weed dreamed that it was a bee, and on until you got a whole goddamn civilization. And then one of the animals dreamed that it's Rudra, and Rudra is a form of Shiva, which is the Hindu Horus. And then when it dreams it's Rudra, Rudra realizes he's dreaming, and he wakes up and all this shit disappears. And that's how it is in your mind. You see? It's only a dream. You see? But when a God dreams, the reality is stronger. You know that book, the Spirits book? Everybody tell you, get that book, the Spirits book. You know who the book is by? What's it? Alan Kardec. In that book, they talk about they have these entities on the other realm. And they be like, oh man, I'll incarnate down there on that damn earth. Oh man, if I get down there, man, I'll be running shit. They be like, man, I'll be running shit. I'm gonna go down there and rule. Soon as they get down there and they get in that damn brain and they lose their mind as a little baby, shit, they end up about 18 years later and shit, and they're standing around some damn club and shit with a bull can in their hand. Don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. This was the same person a few years later talking about how they're going to get down there and do some shit. So when the God starts to dream, it's powerful. That's why you can't wake up from the shit. Now in this book, I'll read it to you right now to give you the crux of the Rig Veda. And this is a good one, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, edited by W.Y. Evans Wintz, W-I-N-T-Z. And in this book here, I got it right here. I want to read it to you so you'll know what this thing says. Look at this. On page 67, enlightenment results from the realizing the unreality of existence. Enlightenment, this is the crux of the book. Enlightenment results from realizing the unreality of existence. See, first of all, I know we got to break this thing, but just think about it right now. If you start living just this everyday life, you know what I'm saying? Somebody crying and stuff because their arm got cut off, and you go, oh, that doesn't matter. Just say the most heinous shit, because I do it on the news. I'm like, oh, that doesn't matter. I be saying in my head, oh, that doesn't matter. You see? Like, take for instance, I saw a guy down on the wheelchair. He had a stomach and a chair. No pee-wee, no nothing. Spirit was like, he don't know what he's supposed to do is kill himself. I mean, at best, he get a new damn body. It's just the way you look at shit. You see what I'm saying? The way you look at stuff. That's why they had to stop Kevorkian ass. Kevorkian said, gotta go. And after a while, they looked up and Kevorkian had a whole movement. These crackers were like, hey, wait a minute. Ass leaking, no colon, skin rotting off. I'm getting the fuck on off and out of Dodge. He said, what? Gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Survey says, and the damn government said, hey, wait a minute. We gotta stop this shit. These people waking up. This is an energy that's being unleashed on the planet. These motherfuckers realizing that they don't have to stay here. Gotta go. Next thing you know, they con that nigga to get on TV and kill somebody on TV. That was his ass. Took him right on off the equation. You see? Let's go on. Let's go on. Now, also in this book, they talk about the Bardo realm. And I'll read this part to you, what it says about what the Bardo realm. Number one, the Bardo also means melanin also to that realm. But in here it also talks about this too, and I want to get into this particular part here too. Y'all all right? The Bardo realm is a dream world. Now, when you go to the Aborigines, what they say, well, we give you all this history. Well, let's put it this way. The Egyptians in Manetho say they give you all this history. They say, what happened before the history? They say, well, that's when the gods used to rule. The Aborigines come in and they say, Australian Aborigines come in and say, well, we have all this history. Then what they say, dream time. You see what I'm saying? So that means that the realm to be fought on is the Bardo realm, the dream world. Now the Upanishad says when a man sleeps in a deep sleep, he goes to his higher self. And also I told you that the number one key to the white man's world in his civilization is sleep deprivation. If he can give you sleep deprivation and dehydration, he got your ass. You see? And one of the ways of sleep deprivation is also just bright lights. He lit up the night. And he shut you down. Sleep deprivation. So, I explained before that it's like a system. The more sleep you get, the more to this doorway you get to. The more sleep you lose, the more and more you go back to the end of here and you got to build the sleep back up. But I also talked about how the kind of sleep you need, because it's almost impossible for some of you all to sleep, you got to get a deep sleep. So the best thing is to take you about 4 valerian roots. Valerian root. Or what else, some other thing? Chamomile? Hops? There's several roots and stuff you can take. And to get at the deepest kind of sleep. And you build up this time in this realm, in this Bardo realm. You see what I'm saying? As long as he can keep you deprived of the sleep. Sleep deprivation, that's one of the keys. That's one of the keys to his rule is dehydration and sleep deprivation. And you know, this book here, man, this book here is interesting because this book here, shit, they tell you straight up what dehydrates the body. Joke, Mountain Dew, Tab, Sunkist, Orange, Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, Pepsi Cola, Diet Riot, Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola, 7-Up, Sprite, Diet 7-Up, Fresca, Root Beer, Sunkist, all sodas. And remember, he got it right in this book, Melatonin, your natural, the Russell Reader book. And in so many words, remember I told you that right at the Kroger down here in Atlanta, during the summer solstice month, they dropped off. Look, they had 2 helicopters bring in a pyramid damn near, a 6-pack of sodas for 99 cents. And the niggas had, one nigga had 2 baskets. Full up a 6-pack. You see? And this stuff is, and this is, they said, this is what depletes melatonin. Is this particular aspect? You see, that depletes melatonin. You see, but in here, but also they said this too, that the highest thing that makes, the greatest thing that makes melatonin rise out of the study of the critical study of over, let's say, almost 20 pages of research is marijuana. But that ought to let you know that the shit you're getting right now can't be marijuana. You see what I'm saying? Because they're saying here that in 2 hours of taking it, the melatonin jumped 400%. So that means in actuality, that can't be the marijuana they're doing now. As well as they also mentioned that the black light that they had to get rid of. You can only get them in Spencer's. You know, them gift shops and every now and you could find they had to get rid of that black light. You see what I'm saying? That particular black light. Not unless you grow in some, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that particular part as far as the black light, as well as learning disabilities based on these fluorescent lights in the classroom. Now I realize why I always had a problem learning inside a damn classroom. The fluorescent lights and stuff shuts down the actual melanin. You see what I'm saying? Shuts down the actual melanin. Now, let's go on. Because I want to get into this particular part. And bear with me 1 minute. In the Kabbalistic text, they talk about, and see, in this particular book, the Zohar, the Book of Enlightenment, it's called the Classics of Western Spirituality. It's just called the Zohar, the Book of Enlightenment, translated and introduced by Daniel Channon Matt, C-H-A-N-A-N, Matt, M-A-T-T. And he's the person that translated it. But they talk about a realm called the Siddha Hara. And they say this is the most evil realm. But in the aspect of this particular book, in the notes, in the extensive bibliography, and in the extensive bibliography, the guy goes down and breaks down, well, what is this Siddha Hara? He said the Siddha Hara was the practices, the Siddha Hara was the practices. Let me just go to the, because I got to read this thing. Bear with me 1 minute. 257. I want to read this. He goes in and he tells you what this Siddha Hara is. And he goes in and he says, I don't know if I can find it right now. He said this Siddha Hara, or what we call evil, he says is nothing but the practice of alchemy in ancient Kemet. So basically this whole realm of what we're calling evil is another priesthood, or later priesthood, rebelling against the ancient art of ancient Kemet. What is the royal art of ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt? Alchemy. And what is alchemy? The ultimate study of melanin. So they had an ancient priesthood that rebelled against it. And I think it has something to do with Akhenaten. You see what I'm saying? That rebelled against this particular realm. And it's also in the book of Enoch, they talk about, in the book of Enoch, they said, I said, what is it so bad that Azazel, the one that you notice in the movie Fallen, what is it that's so bad that he did wrong? And in the book of Enoch, they start going through the list of what he did wrong, and basically they was talking about working with stones and herbs and all this kind of stuff here. And you would think it's some type of sorcery, but if you understand the royal art of ancient Kemet, that what it was actually talking about was the practice of alchemy. And man learning more about its inner nature than these gods rebelled. Also in the book of also the book of God chastises man. Also in the book of Ezekiel, they talk about how the Egyptians was using sorcery. So by you thinking that sorcery is what they tell you now, you can't draw the parallel, because the sorcery that they were talking about was the black art, and what they call the black art is the study of alchemy. But Hollywood is slipped in and is giving you all these preconceived notions of evil. So when you hear the word black magic and the black art, you thinking it's something evil, and in actuality it's the study of alchemy in the most vital part of your essence. So obviously we got a later priesthood that's coming in, and they're shutting down the practice of man's soul, given over to the worship of a deity outside of your damn self. You see, mainly a solar order of deity that lights up the matrix, this artificial plane that we are on. So therefore, that's what they call the solar divas took over the suras or what you talk about this sun out here, and that's what Akhenaten comes in, because he's the first individual in history to come out there with that sun. And remember I told you and tell you to worship the sun in that particular aspect. The Ra thing was a whole other concept, because you got Amun-Ra, the hidden sun. So you have a multi-deity system in Kemet, and they were actually talking about a doggone university of advanced knowledge. But Akhenaten comes and he tells people to worship the sun or the one God, and he shuts down the latent entities. Remember I was telling you that your mind is built on a multi-deity system? You know that you're a multi-deity system based on everything about you. As far as your movements, as melanin never stops moving. You see? Then it has to take a multi-deity system just to explain those components that's inside of you, those latent forces. So Akhenaten comes and he makes the one God concept, and he talking about that physical sun, and he misconstrues that they were talking about an inner sun inside of you, which is that kundalini or black dot. You see what I'm saying? And this is one of the first origins of this fundamentalism, by taking you from this particular part of dealing with your own spiritual concept. So therefore, alchemy becomes outlawed and evil. You see what I'm saying? Now, the Siddhara is talking about this evil realm, but they go and say it's the alchemical practices. What we call melanin is this evil realm. Remember I talk about the ancient evil? Well, and so we come in full circle now. The ancient evil is alchemy. Sorcery, that you get this later day version of this Hollywood shit, some people cooking up some bat legs and shit. Always some old green shit in the pot and all, you know. You talking about sorcery like that, but in actuality, the origin of it, when the Egyptians were dealing with this, or the Canaanites, they were dealing with alchemy, the study of melanin, the most advanced force on the planet. You see what I'm saying? And so from the rebellion of this forces by later day cults, all the stuff that you talk about negative now has its origins in alchemy, which is the study of melanin. So your entire essence, we have turned around and now you are calling it negative, and as a result, you create this particular negative by convincing your subconscious that its own inner workings is negative. You see what I'm saying? The same thing as the serpent, the kundalini, Satan, and all that type of stuff. But also, Set Typhon also represents the ass, or the donkey. But in Jesus, it goes into Jerusalem riding on the back of an ass. You see what I'm saying? So this goes back to say, and we must understand it at this particular time, if we're going to rise up to a certain level, that you are the parents of the so-called gods of creation. So therefore you have no business praying to some gods of creation when you were their parents. You see? And this is what we must understand. This is why things are not working for us. Because we still have this Christian model in our mind that we got to be obedient. And this, now, what does this mean? Now, let me break this down on a certain level, because I was getting ready to get in this before. At one time, we were on the earth plane. We had a couple of thousand years to be here. So we had to harness the latent forces within our body, because we had to create the civilization, because we had to, the forces had to get to a certain level before they manifested on a certain realm. So we had to harness a certain amount of energy. Now we got the time cycles mixed up. Now this is the end time cycle, and because we were hit in the head, now we're going back to the same old harnessing. This new eon that you're talking about, you not only have to become one with your own higher self, you got to become one against nature. Something new here. So you know, all the spiritual shit, all of nature, all the divine beings and the goddamn nature and the nature of this shit here. You have to become one against nature. You say, well, how is that? Now you're losing me. Didn't I tell you at the first beginning that the Egyptians and Alvin Boyd Kuhn book says that they looked at this as a realm of some leftover realm of when we used to live and then we died, and then the civilization started? You see what I'm saying? So if the nature represents the cocoon, you see what I'm saying? And it is the cocoon that sustains you in this life cycle of creation that now even the devil is running. You don't even have control over it no more. Because you have all used it up and you're ready to go to the next level, then you got to become one against nature. That's what Gurdjieff said. The new man that's going to jump to a higher level is not only going to have to become one against nature, but he's going to also have to come one against God. You say, now you fucking me up. Didn't I just tell you a few minutes ago that we are higher than the gods that created the physical realm? This realm was created from a primal world that existed before. So in actuality, you got to become one against God. Because, now what is this talking about? We are not talking about, so you have to get out of the human phase when you talk about this. Think of this thing as one energy superseding another energy. Just as the other energy surpassed our energy and set up this dream world, and we went into hibernation, now our energy has to surpass the other energy. So the God of creation must be overwritten and killed by the God of the world to come, as they call it in the Kabbalistic text. You getting this? Okay. You existed before creation. Several primal worlds that were in existence for billions of years as the same time now as this earth is old. Okay? Then you went into hibernation in a dream state, and your energy was used to create the world around you and to imprison you in this particular world. And that's all what you know of as nature. It's a matrix. It doesn't exist as an illusion, a series of events that don't exist, called Maya, illusion. And the God that created that Maya in that illusion has got your ass now trapped in this thing because you are still thinking of creation. And you're thinking about getting back on top of civilization and going back to Egypt. Well, let's cut the damn dumb shit. Right. You're not going to go back no goddamn well. Personally, you ain't going to do shit but you ain't going to hit her down, like they say down in the country, you ain't going to hit her down and lick out a snake. Or some people say you ain't going to hit her lick out a damn stick. The point I'm trying to make here is now, and I'll explain this to you too also, why this cannot be. If you are to raise yourself up back into a civilization on the earth plane that resembles your past glories, that means that your soul will be trapped forever. Because you didn't come on this civilization as a human. You developed into what a human condition was. So you can't go back to doing the human, been there, done that. You got to go back to the original. So all of the Afrocentric and the conscious community and stuff is all based on you going back to the original. But we don't read what the ancients say. The ancients never said you was going to return to Egypt. The ancients said, as well as all religions, even the religions say this, but all ancient scriptures talk about you go into another existence. Remember, enlightenment is, what was it? Hold on. What was it? The enlightenment results from realizing the unreality of existence. That's what enlightenment is. That when you realize the unreality of existence that's around you, then you are enlightened. So why the hell are you going to go back and live into some more illusions? That don't make no damn sense when you find out the shit ain't real. You know, once you find out some shit ain't real, don't supposed to mean the same damn thing. That's like your motherfucking ass here, you big old 45-year-old man sitting in Santa Claus' lap. You see? You sitting in Santa Claus' lap, butt crack sticking all out. You know what butt crack is? Nigga got butt crack in Santa Claus' lap, browning all up his red damn suit. Rusty ass, skid mark ass nigga sitting up in some damn Santa Claus' lap. You see the concept here? So, you got to kill existence and you have to kill nature because nature is that existence that they're talking about. So you got to be one against nature. You see? Not one in tune with nature, you got to destroy nature. And as we go on, we'll show you how it's done also too. Now, to let you know that I'm not bullshitting, let's get another scholarship book. There's two of them, but let's get two of them here. Wendy O'Flaherty, who is an authority on, she just translates the scriptures. Wendy O'Flaherty, Sheba, the erotic ascetic. The Sheba, or Sheba, I think it's pronounced Sheba. The erotic ascetic. That's her book. As well as Women, Androgynous, and Other Mystical Beasts by the same author. Women, Androgynous, and Other Mystical Beasts by the same author. Now let's look up this aspect of, let me look this up. There's a part in here in the text, in the Mahabharata, text, in the Mahabharata, ancient text. Bear with me 1 minute. When I look this up, I should have put a bookmark in it and stuff, you know. But you know how that is. That would be perfect. That would be doing the right damn thing. And as you know, that don't equate to black people, you know. You know what I'm saying? Because remember I talked about also too, if you lose your sight, your ears get better. If you lose your hearing, your sight get better. Well, in actuality, black people have an atrophied brain now. We have a racial senility. Our brains don't work right now. It's atrophied. That means in actuality, you're becoming more and more subhuman. Now, ain't nobody in here you have to argue with that. All you got to do is go right downtown and look at niggas on the street. Or you can go in your respectable family and see how materialistic and non-human your people have become compared to 30 years ago. But that's good. That's good if you understand basic metaphysics. They're supposed to. 226 of the book. They're supposed to. Now, why is that? You say, well, why is that? Because when your brain starts shutting down, your higher self takes over. So your pineal brain comes online. Lucifer is the pineal gland, the light bringer, cast in a physical body. And its enemy, or the seal that bound it to hold down, is the physical brain. Guess what the enemy is? Your physical brain is your enemy. Humanity is the enemy. You say, that's some crazy shit. How is human? I'm human. No. Human is what you have fooled yourself into believing that you are, or your condition that you have been conditioned to believe you are. The ancient evil is who you are, and it is only evil in reference to humanity. To humanity, this ancient energy is evil because it's going to destroy humanity. So your brain is the enemy. Well, how can your brain be the enemy? Because your brain makes this matrix or this illusionary realm possible. Remember man say, is that really a chair in the Matrix movie? Is that a chair? Is it that's the wiring of your brains, the electrical wiring of your brain telling you that that's a chair? So your enemy is this brain. And what the white man does, he creates luxury, materialism, to suit this brain and make this brain happy, and you don't look for happiness elsewhere. A new pair of shoes will do it. That's a distraction. I know I went to damn New York and went goddamn crazy. Buying shit. They had fur collars, real goddamn mink collars on the street, $5. You know, you think I'm bullshitting? You go downtown Manhattan or go down Canal Street. Them niggas take a blanket out that motherfucker and they'll sell, I bought 2 fucking mink collars. $5. One for me, a raccoon, and one for my girl. $10. Went crazy. Spending, I lost my damn self. Spending up a damn, you know, and I was happy for that minute. Well, it ended up shit at the bottom of the closet. That's where it ends up. Then you be asking yourself how you run out of damn room. It don't even mean this. It's actually hindrance. It's junk after a couple of months. You be like, damn, man, I got too much shit. You don't understand. Now, going on. Page 226. 226. Erva is an ancient sage whose anger... No, I'm going too far. Siva, in this book, is supposed to unleash a submarine mare in the last days. And this submarine mare is this primal energy that will destroy the known universe into a new reality. The submarine mare is often called the fire or the Kundalini fire of Erva. That's what the satanic energy I'm talking about, this ancient evil. That's what you got to become. But you bring that shit about by thinking evil, not love. Love keeps the earth for the last umpteen million years in order. But now you're trying to break out of the cocoon, but now you're getting New Age teachings of the old cycle information, and you're supposed to be learning the new cycle information. That's because the white man has got the old information, and he's trying to create a spiritual reality on the earth for itself. Meanwhile, you're melanated people, and the entities inside of you trying to get out, and it gets out through fucking damn anger. Not love. If this is an illusion, wait a minute, hold on now, goddamn, wait a minute, wait the fuck up. Give me no bullshit about no love. Wait a minute, wait the fuck up, wait a minute, hold on. Enlightenment is the result of the reality, enlightenment results from the realizing the unreality of existence. So if you loving something, you loving a motherfucking unreality. You getting this shit? That means you loving the Matrix. You loving the prison. Wait a minute, hold the fuck up. This shit is crazy, man, because that's that old white people bullshit, New Age shit. You see what I'm saying? And they're pulling a goddamn, you see what I'm saying? And we caught up in this bullshit. Wait a minute. The fact stands that the Egyptians did call their life death. And when they spoke of the dead, they were speaking of its inhabitants, of living humans. Now, the death and the dead was used in scriptures to refer to a living humanity of earthly embodiment. Okay, hold on. Hold up. Belly dry bones. Wait a minute. The reciprocation, no, I want to go on down. Wait a minute, hold up. Bear with me 1 minute. Hold up. Y'all all right? Yeah. Hold on. Well, we need to get this shit straight here. You see what I'm saying? Because we need to get this straight. Let's see. Hold on 1 minute. Bear with me. Page 93. Hold up. Page 93. Hold up. Want to get this shit right. No, page 205, Alvin Boyd Kuhn's book, Lost Light. This is the one they banned. This wide procession might have remained highly instructive had Milton and had within common and his group of Hermeticists of Europe had lost the lost signal of knowledge of the fallen angels, the rebel hosts, and the armies of Satan and Lucifer. Collectively was man himself. That fiery lake into which he was hurled was our gloomy earth. So, if man is imprisoned in a fiery lake, and it is talking about this particular earth, what the fuck you doing loving this bullshit? You see what I'm saying? That's bullshit. If it's a matrix, if it's an illusion, if it's Maya, it doesn't exist. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't exist. Now, so what is the solution? And I got a real deal solution also in a few minutes. Show you some shit in a few minutes. That's right. I got some real shit for you in a few minutes. Hold on. The submarine fire is called Urva or Arva. Or it is called the fire of Arva. What is Arva? Urva is the name of a sage whose anger was its source. In so many words, Urva's anger was a blazing fire that was raised up based on this anger that destroys the universe. Now, Urva, his God form is Siva. Then he goes on to say, well, how does Siva destroy the universe, which is the matrix? He burns it up, I quote, O'Flaherty, Siva or Shiva, the erratic aesthetic, he burns the universe up with his third eye. Now, wait a goddamn minute. Wait a minute. Hold the fuck up. Hold up. Hold the fuck up with the dumb shit. If the third eye produces melanin, and they say that the third eye is supposed to burn up the damn universe, you understand what I'm saying? Then what's all this other bullshit? That's what the third eye is here for. It is the fire that is supposed to consume the universe. That they say, my God is an all-consuming fire. You get this? But they also say that this fire is erupted through anger. You say, how can this be? Because the old cycle, you had to contain your anger because you had to live on the earth because the fire was not at its point that it get to the point that it's going to destroy the universe. Now you are at the end cycle and you are misconstruing the text because all the white boy got the new age and they ain't trying to get up out of this shit. They are rich and they are living on top of everybody on the earth that's indigenous. So they want a new age and they knew Egypt to do some shit to sustain this thing. Meanwhile, they feeding you the bullshit and you thinking that the spirituality is supposed to peace and love and one with nature. That's the old cycle. Your shit is to destroy the earth. Like the ancients said, and all these ancient texts, and like Honorable Elijah Muhammad and everybody else say, they're going to get theirs. But we're all going to get ours based on destroying our shells that we are into. The difference is once you destroy your shell, you are free. And once they destroy their shell, since they don't have no souls, they don't exist no more. So when the Spirit said, they kept saying, you don't understand, white people do not exist. I said, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Then I was telling you, you get something and you don't learn and you can't even understand what they give you. They say, white people don't exist. They used to tell my girl that all of 94, white people don't exist. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And people are like, well, they do this, they're ruling over your ass, ain't they? I said, the spirits was talking about the only thing that exists in the universe is your soul. Since they don't have no souls, because you can't have no, because the souls, the only souls there are the original souls that there always were. You see, so since they don't have no soul, they don't exist. Since this is an illusion and a matrix, that doesn't exist, they don't exist either. Remember when my man finally killed the agent in the movie? It wasn't nothing but a damn ghost in the first place. But they killed him and he still woke up and kicked ass. Because he had also crossed over when he went through the shit and was rebirthed on the other side at the beginning of the damn movie. You see the concept? So somebody is running some bullshit to us. You see, whenever the Vedic scriptures, as well as what's called, okay, you saying, no, you're wrong, man. The Christ says love. Well, we can bust that shit up right now. First of all, the Christ is not synonymous to some Jesus Christ of 2,000 years ago. That motherfucker never existed. So the Christ that we're talking about is the ancient Christ, which is Horus. The Etruscan is Hercules. Krishna, Shiva. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Study anything about Horus, and Horus don't do but one damn thing. Put some foot to somebody's ass. That's it. Now, if you tell me one goddamn thing where Horus is walking in the field with a lamb and some little goddamn snotty-head children, you crazy as hell. Horus cut his own damn mama head off when she let go Set Typhon. Of course, cutting her head off and she a god don't mean nothing. She be like, that's fucked up, man. Why you do that for? I'll get your ass back. But the point is, the Christ in ancient Kemet is the ultimate embodiment of what you would call Satan today. A straight up killer. Make no bones about it. If you read Shiva, now I'm going to tell you, the stuff, the Horus stuff that you get in Kemet, you didn't get a lot of it because you just got the basic Osirian myth. You say, I want to know more about this Horus cat, but you don't get it, or the Heru cat. That's because a lot of it is suppressed. They still got tons of this stuff that they don't show you in Egypt. You want to get the real shit on what's his name? You got to get these two books and study these two books. This one and what is that? The book Erotic Ascetic. These two books. And in here, this motherfucker is a straight up gangster. Fucks all day and fights all night. That's all he does. Erotic. Him and his girl get together and they start screwing and they say, you got to stop him, man. They're going to destroy the universe. That's what it is. It's in here. Him and his woman get together and they start screwing and destroy the damn universe. But the first thing he does to rise up is he burns up and he destroys love. That's in the damn book. So everything that this religion has taught you to be about, you got to be against, because we're talking about a different cycle. We're talking about a different cycle. You get where I'm coming from here? In the Gershom Scrollem's Kabbalah, it talks about one of his books. They said, well, they had all these Kabbalistic texts they got out of Kemet and all. They said, well, what does all this shit mean, man? This was right before he died. And he's the foremost authority on this thing. They said, well, what does all this stuff mean? He said, ultimately, everything got to return back to chaos. And we are the damn chaos beings. Well, in this book here, O'Flaherty's book, the Rig Veda, her version of the Rig Veda, I think it's in this particular version. It's either in the Rig Veda or she also has the Hindu myths. She got one called Hindu Myths down here. I think it's this Hindu myth. I think this was the one because this was a better book. In here, her conclusion was that all things fall apart. So is the way of the universe. Everything deteriorates and got to go back to the great mother, which is the nothingness. Let's face the dumb shit. They say the burning hell, Alvin Boyd Kuhn in his book Lost Light says, the burning hell as everything in this world is in a state of deterioration and flux and is burning up. So is the way of the universe. All of it has to go back to the chaos. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, which is a later day religious version of the earlier text, they even, when they go to the last thing, they say, well, what's it all about? What's going to happen at the end? They say, in the end, all of this shit has got to be destroyed by the gods going to have to be destroyed by chaos. Chaos Theos is the primal order that existed before creation, and that's who you are. The substance in you is a pre-creation substance, and it cannot act on the card of creation and nature. So you have to condition your mind and be free. Every now and then you get a notion to kill some damn body. That's what the fuck you supposed to do. Now you say that's wrong, but let's say if that was God. First thing you in a damn graveyard, God took him. Well, fucking you God too. And some niggas need to be killed. You see all them Negroes on TV, buck dancing Negroes on TV, selling you out? But isn't it funny that the Italians can take their fucking assholes out in their race?